Hello, hello. This is my first attempt shooting with the front camera on my phone. What's going on? Coming at you live from the Nile. Man, I'm gonna pan and show you what I'm looking at now. It's so beautiful. It's about like 5 p.m. The sun's about to set on that side. Anyway, if you're new here, hi, hello, I'm Julie. I have done a couple of blog posts about real or honest Instagram captions. I don't believe I'm someone who's like dishonest or misleading on Instagram, but you just will never get the full story, you know? And I like to just from time to time remind people of that. So I chose some of my most popular Instagram posts over the years, both from travel and from like my more busy modeling days. And I thought I'd just tell you the full story. Some of them is like, this is not what it looked like, and I was actually kind of miserable. Most of them is like, it was a cool day, it was a good moment, but also at the same time, this is what was going on, which was a challenge or whatever. And some of them actually are like my whole time here in Jinja, Uganda. I've been in lockdown in Uganda, kind of got stuck or stranded here about 4 months now. And it's been blissful, and I've not really been gramming like I usually would in my general travel posts, because it's just like, you know, sometimes the best moments in life, I don't know, maybe it doesn't make a picture, but the memory is bigger than anything, you know, and better than any visual representation you could ever put on it type of vibes. Anyway, like and subscribe if you are into travel vibes, decolonizing travel around the global south, you know what I'm saying, Pan-Africanism, etc., etc. Also, I will be talking about some visa hacks and festivals and such like things when we can move around again and be together again. So first one, this here. I started with this one because it's like probably one of my better known ones, or I've definitely reposted it a few times. And it is one of the first pictures you'll see if you go to the homepage of my website, femambition.com. This here, good times. This is from, I believe, 2017. Yeah, in Kilifi, in the coast of Kenya. This was my first ever sponsored trip at home in Kenya, which I was very excited about. I was invited to spend a weekend in Kilifi by distant relatives, hostel and backpackers, Eco Lodge. Shout out to you guys. They just opened recently, so congrats. Can't wait to be back. Yeah, so they invited myself and a plus one, and so I took a friend of mine. It was really lovely. Like, it was me and one other blogger who also brought her friend, and we had like beautiful like activities planned, and we would have, you know, beach walks and evening freaking night swims. And this particular day we had a day out on the Dow, and we went snorkeling in the bay or wherever, and it was just beautiful. I love Kilifi, it's really nice. So it was cool. It was a lovely trip. I also didn't know yet this trip was sort of like the end of a friendship with the person who I had brought as a plus one, which was kind of sad. But this trip was really kind of the catalyst for that. But it was a lovely day. Like, we went out on this dhow with Captain Isa, who's a super nice guy. It was vibes, we had music on. Yeah, it was a really nice time. But, you know, at the back of it, it was like a couple little squabbles that ultimately, yeah, that was like the end of a long and pretty interesting and like growth encouraging friendship. But like, that's kind of when things started to fall apart in that friendship, which is kind of like, yikes. But yeah, that's circa 2017, what you didn't see. Next one of my favorite shots from my time in Barcelona. This was from my 2016 Euro trip. I was able to plan and actually execute a little trip for myself in July of 2016, which was so, I'm still like amazed at 2016 little Julie who figured this shit out, you know. But Barcelona was like a tough point in that trip. I went to 4 different cities in a month. And the middle two, which was Nice and Barcelona, was very difficult because it really became apparent to me how I was running out of, or I was going to run out of money, because saving had become very difficult in the months before the trip because work had slowed down. I was doing a bunch of freelance work, which was not always guaranteed. So it was tough. I was at my brokest in Barcelona, which is funny because that's not where I ended the trip, because eventually then I got paid for some other work and went on to Rome, which was fine. Barcelona was also tough just because, I don't know, that's one of the places I felt the loneliest. Even though I always say, like, I actually don't get lonely traveling alone because there's so many people everywhere in the world. And I stay at hostels and I couch surf and I go to events and I meet people. But Barcelona was one of those places, I don't know why I seem to have a hard time, like, meeting people and making plans. But I do remember on this day I had just checked into an Airbnb, which was what I thought a room in an apartment. So I get there. It is a room in an apartment, but it's like this person had made like a hostel in their apartment. There was like 4 bunk beds in this one room, and there were like 3 or 4 bedrooms. So I arrived there. It's some Russian guy who's like, hey, if the neighbors ask you anything, just say that you're a friend of Alex. I don't know if you're aware, but Airbnb is actually illegal in Barcelona. I said, bitch, what? Wow, okay. So that's my welcome to the apartment. So I check in quick, I put my stuff down and I go out for a walk. I end up going past Sagrada Familia, this very famous church. That's like a major, like, architectural landmark wise, that's like it for Barcelona. And I went to university for architecture, so it was like, wow, I'm really here, oh my gosh. But I was actually just passing because I was going to find a cafe where I could sit down and find Wi-Fi because I had a job interview. Even though I had this freelance work that I was doing, I was still on the hunt for more regular, dependable, remote work. So I sat down, I had this interview actually with a pretty well-known travel media type company. In the end, I didn't hear back from them. I remember going back to the apartment and there was like a bunch of Mexicans, I think like 4 or 5 who were traveling together, and they were like, hey, come out with us. But I had no money in my hand. I had it in PayPal, so I couldn't really do that much. And I remember they offered me pizza. I had a slice of their pizza, which is very nice of them. But I ended up I didn't want to go and like be a dead weight when they went out. So I just chilled, I just said, let me just stay here and read. And I couldn't even do that because the girl who was sharing my room was there for like summer school. She was doing a Spanish course. So by like 8 o'clock, she was like, can you turn off the light because I need to sleep out of school tomorrow. And I was like, you know what, fine. But that's what I remember from that specific day in Barcelona, which in general, that whole city, that like 5-6 days in the city was a trip. Yeah, but you can catch that Barcelona vlog over here. It was a good experience, but it was one of the hardest sections of my trip. Let's talk about some modeling vibes, or modeling-ish vibes. This is just like, it wasn't a job, it was just sort of like a fun shoot type of thing, organized by Robin, who I went to high school with. I think she put up on her Instagram, does anybody want to come over and just do a shoot, just for fun, with this, along these lines, with this kind of theme. And I was like, yeah, sounds cool, I'll come through. And she was like, awesome. So a few of us got together at her mom's house in Nairobi. And yeah, all pictures were shot by Poppy Mionga, who's a brilliant, amazing photographer. And also we had jewelry brought over by Marushka, who was part of the shoot. And she is co-owner, co-creator of... And so anyway, it was a really nice vibe. Like, we all were just there as friends / acquaintances. I either knew everyone there or sort of knew of them, and like we had some sort of like connection, some sort of common friend or something. It was lovely. It was a really nice vibe. We ended up staying over for dinner. Cool. So a few weeks or whatever down the line, we get the pictures back from Poppy. She's like, okay, this is everything. And I'm like, I know, right? I'm a decent looking girl. Sometimes I even have my good days, and I'm like, wow, you're a good looking bitch. But I've had like a 2-decade battle with my skin. Puberty came at me early. 7-8 years old, I was out here with the zits, and I've never had, or like not in recent memory, have I had like a good or problem-free skin. And I feel like it really just popped out because it was very natural. Everybody had their own clothes. We just had like accessories provided by Marushka. No one really did makeup. I think maybe I filled in my eyebrows, but there was nothing like foundation, eyeshadow, nothing. Everybody came with their natural face, and all of them seemed to like have problem-free skin. It was just me that I was like, my skin's a disaster. And these pictures come out and I'm like, my skin's a disaster. But at the same time, it's also like, I feel like, I don't know, everything I went through, I've only posted very few, of the pictures, because some of them, especially like the group ones where it was all of us or three of us or something, are beautiful, like in terms of the positioning and everything like that. But I felt like I looked drab and tired. You know what I mean? And I was like, kind of in an insecure moment of like, I feel like I'm dragging the pictures down a little bit. So yeah, I mean, there are a few that I'm okay with, but generally I just kind of was like, have I completely just lost the vibe that made me a half decent model once upon a time? I don't know. But I remember getting the pictures back and just being like, oh, everyone else looks very good and effortless, and I'm just kind of like, bleh. Apart from these few that I posted. So yeah, it happens. I still maintain that I look kind of funky, which is weird because I didn't feel shitty at the time or anything like that. I felt normal. But yeah, that's how I was feeling and still am feeling sometimes, especially to do with my skin. It's a huge issue I've just always, not always, but I've just struggled with for a long time, and I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. So, but anyway, this day was my first ever and only so far music video shoot. The beginning of my music video vixen career. This, so, I mean, yeah, so we were shooting this video for this like pretty well-known Nigerian artist, it was cool. She was very lovely, the artist herself. I'm not gonna say the name. It's not even like embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, the way the video came out was fine. It was cool. But what happened was I answered a call looking for models. The stylist put up a call and I emailed her and she was like, awesome, you're cast. Please be at Llandudno Beach, my favorite beach in Cape Town, at 8 a.m. So I'm like, cool, great. So I get myself there on time. It's quite a secluded beach and area because it's sort of like you have to kind of go through a residential area. It's not like many of the rest of the beaches, which is like, it's the road and then there may be a few bars or whatever, and the beach is right there exposed to the public. It's a bit more quiet and private-ish. It's the beach, it's public, but So I'm there by myself at 8 in the morning on a beach in South Africa. I'm like, yikes, okay, no one's here. Trying to call this chick, the stylist, who's the only contact I have. Her phone's off. I'm like, great, this is a wonderful start. So after a while, I think that I was able to get a hold of her or something. Like an hour or 2 hours after I had gotten there, the rest of the crew comes. Okay, fine, whatever. So it's myself and one other model who are like the dancing girls on the beach. Yikes. I remember the makeup artist didn't even show up, so we had to do our own makeup. I had a little bit of mine. We just had to like kind of do a little patchwork with whatever everyone had. And then I remember also like I think it was the director of photography, who was this German guy. I forgot his name. So he was actually there working, but his girlfriend had come. And just to be there, whatever. Sometimes it's like that. And I just remember this girl being such a moody bitch, like for nothing. And the other model, who is really cool, who's in this photo, Sivu, she had gone to college with this chick who had gone to film school with her. And yeah, I remember her suggesting, like, it's probably just because you and her boyfriend have been really friendly. And it wasn't even like that. He's actually just a nice dude, just a friendly guy who was talking and chatting with everybody. But she seemed to not be able to stand me from jump. And I was like, I don't even know this girl. What the hell? But yeah, so she was very much up herself. I remember one time, it was sort of like there was a beach parking, and then there was a little bit, like a few stairs to go down to the actual beach. And I wasn't really doing anything. So I think the director asked me just really quickly if I could go and look for Fanon, guy in the picture who was also on the crew, and see if he was at the parking. So I'm like, yeah, no problem. So I went and ran up and I meet this girl coming down the steps, the girlfriend of the dude who, So I'm like, yo, is Fanon up there? She's like, I don't know. And like continues down. And I'm like, what the f***? What does she mean she doesn't know? Like, she just left the car. There's no one, whatever. In the end, he was literally right there. So she did freaking know. She just didn't want to talk to me. Anyway, so all that goes on. This is now like the whole morning. And then we spend like an hour and a bit driving literally out of town to some airstrip, freaking like airfield, for the artist, the singer, to shoot a segment like near a helicopter. It is now sunset. It has gotten dark. Myself and Sivu, who are the two girls dancing on the beach, we didn't need to be here at all. We thought, okay, cool, we're going to the next section of the video, we'll be told what to do there. We didn't do anything the rest of the day. We probably had like 30 minutes where we had camera time and we were doing what we needed to do, and we could have gone home. But no, they take our entire day. Thank goodness they drop us back to our doors. And on this day I made 400 rand. Also, one of the biggest mistakes of my life, I didn't insist on asking and finding out how much are we actually getting paid and how much time is needed. I was just like, okay, I'm casting a job, because it was like whatever job I can get, almost, I'm going to take it. At this year that I spent in Cape Town, it was a mess. It was really a mess. But you live and you learn. Never get on a job before confirming how much you're getting paid. Seems obvious, but I don't know why I just didn't really think of that, And that was the story of my first and so far only music video shoots. Take it back to one of the highlights of 2019, my first ever international sponsorship. First time your girl got flued out. First time somebody who wasn't me or my parents paid for a flight for me to go because they believed in my work, and I could hardly even fathom that. So this year, what happened was it was a week-long conference and also blogger press trip with 30 bloggers in total. And so the first 3 days we had a conference, and then the next 2 or 3 days we had activities planned out for us to go, make all this content, make videos, do blog posts about what Mauritius had to offer in all different ways, different parts of the island. So this here is a day that we were checking out of Luke's Grongob. Gorgeous resort in the north of Mauritius. Super luxury, I think it was like 4 or 5 star, I'm pretty sure. Amazing resort. The thing about press trips, right, is that you don't have time for shit. I remember I arrived, I don't remember the day of the week, I think it was a Monday evening. Drive from the airport to this place is about an hour, so got there, definitely it was dark. And in the program every single day, we would be leaving the resort. There was 2 of us bloggers at this particular resort. We were all spread out. This particular resort, we never had any conference days at the resort. So we always left 8 a.m., 9 at the latest. So I didn't usually even have breakfast because I wanted to sleep in, or I wanted to do my yoga and stuff like that and have my mornings to myself, or I wanted to be out taking pictures. So I never even had a breakfast until this morning, the checking out morning. And then we would be out doing our conference stuff, and then we would come back again almost at sunset or after dark, because Mauritius, as much as it's not a huge country, end to end, if you're driving, say, the very north to the very south tip or very east to very west, it's an hour and a bit to drive. So I just didn't really spend time at the resort. I didn't have a full lazy day at the resort. I didn't enter one swimming pool. We're lucky enough to try all the restaurants. Actually, no, most of the restaurants, because we would have dinner every night there. But I didn't really get to enjoy it like that. And it's so beautiful and nice, and they have freaking tennis courts, and didn't actually go swimming and their beaches are not the best for swimming, but I waded in the water a little bit, but didn't go swimming in the ocean from this resort. My room was great, enjoyed the room a lot, but it was just rushed. That's how press trips go, I came to learn. But this here was the last one we were checking out. This is after I had breakfast, and I had maybe a half-hour window. I had packed already. There was a half-hour window to hop on a bikini, take some pictures with this amazing colorful vibe down near the beach. So I just quickly freaking drummed up something, figured something out to take pictures over here. It was cloudy a lot of the mornings that we were there. It was November, which is kind of coming out of winter-ish. It's the tropics, but and yeah, suddenly I had to run back and put my regular clothes on, run to the reception so I could check out. It was just, I'm very grateful, but that's how it goes with press trips. It's not a holiday at all. And I was kind of bummed to be leaving before really, really fully even spending one full day at the resort just chilling. And that's how it is. Another one of my Cape Town stories. This is also one of my all-time favorite pictures, just because look, whose life is this? The year 2017 was one of the best of my life, because it was really it was just so random. I was just making shit up as I went, making up life as I went, what is a plan? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that even? And I was like, it was one of my brokest years ever, but I was so happy because I had so many good people around me, and shit like this just happened. This was the day before my 24th birthday, or 23rd, I forgot. However old I turned in 2017. And what had happened was, this was a Sunday, I believe. I used to have Sundays and Mondays off where I used to work at this hostel. And this guy who didn't work there anymore but used to had come around or whatever, and we had become friendly. And I remember, I don't know if I had mentioned it was gonna be my birthday or not, but I remember him just saying on the Saturday, "What are you doing tomorrow? Are you off? Do you wanna come sailing with some friends?" So I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool." So we go. We pick up a couple of other people, and then we go to Hout Bay Harbor, which I love. Hout Bay. It's a beautiful, I guess it's this town outside Cape Town. We get there, and then the guy picks us up or whatever. We meet him at his boat. This guy lives on this boat, and there were all these stories of like people having like made attempts on his life because he exposes I don't know what, and so he just lives on this boat because like he tries not to get on land, and they've been attempts made on his children's life and blah blah blah. It was a whole lot. It was just a whole lot. But yeah, we spent this beautiful sunny afternoon on his boat, just with like drinks and like snacks, just talking shit about all kinds of things and meeting a couple other people. It was just a blissful way to like close out that year. I mean, year as in the day before my birthday. And I remember, even if I can find it, I'll put the clip over here, but I was really like, this is so random, but like, thank God and the universe for like random amazing things like this and people like this. Like, it was so dope. It was so dope. And then the next day was my birthday. I just remember I slept in. I had the day off again. I slept in, and then somebody had given me like a birthday joint. So I took that to the beach, and I just like lit up a joint, chilled at the beach, and like, it was just such a vibe. It was happiness, you know what I mean? It was just happiness all around. I remember like I was waiting to be paid, so I didn't actually have money on my birthday or even the 2 days after. I was a little bit bummed, but I mean, it didn't even matter. I had what I needed, you know what I mean? Bro, I was so happy this year, dude. It was so nice. Bringing it to the hometown, this here was taken at a cafe in Nairobi called Coffee Casa, beautiful place. I was there I just ended up there kind of in a daze, because what happened was, I've talked about this before on my Instagram, and I posted a blog post about it when it happened, which was 2018. On International Day of Yoga 2018, had gone to a mandir, an Indian Hindu temple in Nairobi, because I had always seen it. It's quite a distinctive oldish building, and I wondered about it, so I googled it, and I found out that they have a cultural exhibit type of thing and a library, a bookstore type of thing. So I said, okay, cool, I have some time this morning, let me go. Long story short, I get there, they're like, we don't allow Africans, black people in here. I was like, what are you talking about? But they were like, nah, I'm sorry, you can't come in. So I'm like, well, it's no use talking to the guard. Let me call management, right? So I just walked away. I left it. I was like, this is ridiculous, but whatever. Walked away. Coffee Casa is like relatively close to it. I had collected my thoughts. I sat down. I Googled the phone numbers for this establishment, for the temple. Nothing really went through, but I don't know. I had my camera with me because I had gone to like see the stuff, right? And maybe take some Instagrammable shots at the temple. So I had my camera with me, and I just thought, let me set this down and document this moment. And I remember actually taking a video, like recounting what had just happened while I was still fresh. And it's really interesting because I've used this picture as my WhatsApp profile picture before, and I've put it up on Tinder before, in my Tinder profile too. And I often get like, this is such a lovely picture. It's like exudes such good vibes. It's so, you know. I remember one time at Tinder Day telling me that like he singled out this picture as something that like stood out to him as like one of the reasons that he like swiped right on me or something, which is so funny considering like the background story. And people are like, this is such a nice, calm, like good vibes picture. I'm like, okay, I guess, yeah. But I don't know, until today I really like that picture. Like, I don't know. But this is the backstory of what happened that day. Still love the picture though, it's great. I think I look kind of cute. So there you go, my loves, a little insight to the Instagram fun snaps and thirst traps that I'll be posting for your viewing pleasure on Instagram. If you haven't by now, for goodness sake, go and follow me at Frame Ambition, okay? Don't be rude. Yeah, you know, just a reminder that you'll never really see anybody's full story. But at the same time, you shouldn't feel entitled to. Like, that's not what this is for. That's not what we do here, you know? For me, if you ever find yourself kind of, I don't know, wondering or envying, sounds kind of full of myself, not really. But I want you to know that a lot of the time, I'm having a fun life and I'm very grateful for my life. But most of the time, first of all, generally anything that I've posted, whether I've tagged an account or something, I've never been paid directly for any social media, anything. I've never been paid money, ever. It's either sponsored travel or sponsored product. I've never been paid money. Disclaimer. And that's probably true for many other creators and influencers that you know. And also, whenever I am on a trip or on a long-term sort of travel like I am now, I almost never have as much money as I would like. Sometimes I don't even have enough. Sometimes I don't even have like what I need, you know. I figure it out, you know what I mean? I'm very resourceful and I generally stay positive because the last few years have shown me that like my life or myself, things have a way of figuring themselves out, you know. And so I don't let it get me down too much, but like generally I'll be broke, okay? So remember that. Okay, I'm gonna shut up and go. It's about to be the curfew here, so I actually have to get home from my paradise viewpoint over here. I'm gonna do a last pan of the Nile to show you, and then I'm gonna go home. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I will talk to you in the comments. Bye. I fell over. Okay.